Hello everyone, welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. So my name is Sam. Let me tell you what this very long video is going to cover. Chickens being affected by the microwave frequencies being sent across the US right now. We're going to talk about how they are harnessing energy from, ready for this? Not only bacteria, folks, but also stem cells from embryos to generate energy to run supercomputers. We're going to deep dive into these microwave pulses coming across this country and how it may be directly affecting you, your homestead, your health, and even your kids. Stop telling us this is safe. Today's video is going to build on that. We're all hearing literally Australia is shutting down farms and starting food rations, folks, because of the bird flu. All right. In America, over 50 million birds have been killed. They've been killed, guys. Murdered. Little innocent chickens, turkeys, pheasants, quail, just murdered because of bird flu. Right? So here's my question. Building on the knowledge that we got from yesterday's video about frequencies, the Holy Spirit kind of put on my heart to see, are chickens and birds, really affected by frequency? And I was blown away. Of course they are. They hear a much lower frequency and a much higher frequency than you and I. So Harp and all of these Doppler and 5G network towers are sending out sound frequencies, right? And radar that you and I can't necessarily hear, but we know it's there. We feel it, right? Especially when we try to sleep. Keeps us kind of amped up all the time, right? Well, your birds are very similar. What they found in a couple of different studies that I found, one was from the Air Force, okay? Let's start there. About, pregnant women flying certain types of planes when they're pregnant because of the movement. Well, frequencies move, folks. They did a test using chicken eggs and realized there was a lot of birth defects. So they're like nixing women being able to fly planes for the Air Force when they're pregnant. Let's start there. Then I went a little further and I was like, what happens to chickens? Can it make them sick if they're exposed consistently to either light frequencies or sound frequencies or any of that? And the answer was very simple. It was yes. So let me explain what I did, folks. Finding any proof that Harp or 5G is hurting humans and animals is impossible. They're not going to do those studies. So I reversed the question because that's how I was trained. When I was in school for 10 years to be a special education teacher, my question became not where's the proof that sound waves and frequencies can affect animals in a negative way. So I said, okay, can frequencies and sound waves, light waves, be used in a positive way to help animals? There's the proof. The proof is in the fact that they have already proven using the correct sound waves can increase fertility. It can increase the ambiance. It can make the animals healthier. So the opposite of that would be if you use the incorrect frequencies, the opposite would happen. And that's how you outsmart them. You're not going to find definitive proof in a study. Nobody's going to back that study. There's no money for the funding. And if somebody like you or I tries to replicate the study, then people will shoot it down because it wasn't in a laboratory. It wasn't backed by a university. None of us have a PhD in science. So you have to outsmart them. Guys, if you'd like to support what we do here at Starkey Farmstead, we would greatly appreciate it. To the ones of you that supported us last night, God bless you. Because what we're doing is saving all of that money to take with us to Maui to pass out to the fire victims. So no matter how you give to us right now, it's going to go back to help the people in Maui. Yes, it can affect them. It can affect their egg laying. It can affect their personalities. It can make them sick and more susceptible to disease. Why did I start with chickens? Because I'm getting a lot of reports from people saying, I bought chicks or I hatched chicks and they aren't surviving. Like they're coming out of the eggs, they're making it to 6 weeks or 18 weeks or even, 5 or 6 months old and they're dying. They're with my older flocks. My older flocks are perfectly fine, but my chicks can't seem to get up to egg laying. It's happening everywhere. Of course, people immediately jump to the feed, but is it just the feed, folks? Is it? Could it be the frequencies being amped up, literally causing these baby chicks to be born? During the incubation period, they are exposed to those pulsing waves going through the eggs. And is that causing a weaker bird? I never had birds born with crossed beaks until April. The video I showed you yesterday was recorded in April, this video.
I wanted to document the continuing microwave pulses that we are getting hit with every day. And I'm noticing they are ramping up. On the 16th, they started at 9:11 at night until 9:11 in the morning. You see the pulse going from the east to the west coast. All right, boom, you see that? Those are NexRad stations. Each of those towers are 750 kilowatts, pumping out between 2.7 to 2.9 gigahertz in the microwave range. This is roughly the same frequency as your microwave oven, and it has the same cause and effect relationship. This was 12 hours long that they held this pulse while we slept. And look at all the other anomalies that are happening here on the screen. Look at what's going on in Texas. All right, you see that big blast? Looks like a giant laser, doesn't it? Boom, see that? And then it gets obscured by the towers. Now they can add the Doppler towers with this. NexRad has like 159, Doppler has 160. Now you can consider the Harp stations.
All right, now that I've replayed that for you guys, sorry. Okay, now, my question is this. Could this be what's affecting your chicks, your quail, your turkeys? Birds are literally falling out of the sky. Did you guys see that video where the birds just woof to the ground? Like, it was insane. That's frequencies. Then I went a little further. Dug into Harp a little bit more, right? And they admit that what Harp is doing is heating up the ionosphere. If you are unaware, it is the ionosphere that shields us from the radiation from the sun. They want to tell us that our Earth is heating up because of global warming. Oh my God, cows are farting in the field. That dude's got a diesel truck. She went four-wheeler riding. They burned wood stove. Are you kidding me? Did you people not have basic science in school? Do you remember the aerosol can fear? What do you have everywhere now? Aerosol cans. They threw that to the wayside when enough people wouldn't band with them. Then they went back to the drawing board and said, oh my God, we got to come up with something better because they're too smart. They won't fall for the hairsprays destroying, the atmosphere. They won't fall for it. We need to do something different. Guys, listen to me. The earth has an endless supply of oil. Like it's got an endless supply of water. And for the ones of you who have a public education or a private education in the last 25 years, I am so sorry we failed you, friend. I'm sorry that we allowed the federal government to step in with all the junk that they've stepped in with and did not educate you guys on basic science. The earth is not going to run out of water. We have more water than a billion people could drink or use. The problem is whose hands are on the water and where is the water being diverted? It's not a lack of resources. It is an inappropriately sourced resources, okay? You keep hearing the World Economic Forum say sustainable goals to you. Oh, we're gonna stop poverty. If that was even possible, why hasn't it been stopped? If the world, as a unit, did not spend any money on making movies, on making Netflix videos, if all that stopped, just that one industry, movies, for one calendar year, they could take that billions and billions and billions of dollars that would have been paid to movie stars and, you know, stunt people, makeup artists, renting facilities, camera crews, all that. And they could solve poverty in one swoop. Why is there hunger? Why is there hunger? Because of the regulations and the rules that will not allow people to take food that has an expiration date on it and give it away for free. You know how many people I know that will not sip milk if it goes 1 day past expiration? My entire family, but me. I pop that lid off and sniff. If it smells clean, I'm drinking it. I don't care if it's a week or even 2 weeks past the expiration date, because that is a best buy date, folks. It's not a this needs to be thrown out date. And because we have not truly educated people, because that's what they want. They've got you in a consumer mentality. And now they've raised our kids to believe that water, that oil, all of that is going to run out. It's going to run out. No, it's not. If you can get it out of the hands of the global elites, it will not. Then the same people who are uber millionaires and billionaires want to talk about poverty to people like you and I. I hope you guys understand how much we love you guys, because we honestly to God do. But we got to get our heads out of our back ends. And you cannot depend on Trump. He can't fix everything, folks. And the man's too busy to do his own research. So basically, he's a businessman. In a businessman's mind, how do you make people more prosperous? You give them the ability to work when they can't go into work during the shutdowns, which is why he was all for the 5G rollouts. Can you blame him? He's trying to keep people fed. So you have to weigh all of this against people being able to support themselves. How do we do that? First, we just need to slash taxes. That's ridiculous. No money needs to leave America. We don't need to fund the UN, the WHO, the World Economic Forum. We don't need to fund any more research projects in any other countries. We don't need to have military bases on any other country's land. And I don't care who gets upset with me. My sons were in the military. Bring our kids home, folks. Bring our babies back. Because don't you guys find it funny that the selective service is now fixing to require women to sign up between the ages of 18 and 24, their most fertile age group. They're going to have our boys and our girls sign up for selective service, send them overseas to fight a war we've got nothing to do with it, and leave the young, the women, and the elderly with a bunch of illegal aliens. I'm just saying. Watch this clip.
into federal computer databases, find your name, and draft you if needed. But don't worry, ladies, this can't happen to you under the United States Supreme Court case Rosker versus Goldberg. My main question is, why would Congress need to pass such a law right now? Why would we need an army full of draftees? We're not even at war, right?
If you've learned a lot about leadership and making a movement, then let's watch a movement happen start to finish in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons. First, of course, a leader needs the guts to stand alone and look ridiculous. But what he's doing is so simple, it's almost instructional. This is key. You must be easy to follow. Now here comes the first follower with a crucial role. He publicly shows everyone else how to follow. Notice how the leader embraces him as an equal. So it's not about the leader anymore, it's about them, plural. Notice how he's calling to his friends to join in. So it takes guts to be a first follower. You stand out and you brave ridicule yourself. Being a first follower is an underappreciated form of leadership. The first follower transforms a lone nut into a leader. If the leader is the flint, the first follower is the spark that really makes the fire. Now here's the second follower. This is a turning point. It's proof the first has done well. Now it's not a lone nut and it's not two nuts. 3 is a crowd and a crowd is news. A movement must be public. Make sure outsiders see more than just the leader. Everyone needs to see the followers because new followers emulate followers, not the leader. Now here come 2 more people, then 3 more immediately. Now we've got momentum. This is the tipping point, and now we have a movement. As more people jump in, it's no longer risky. If they were on the fence before, there's no reason not to join in now. They won't stand out, they won't be ridiculed, and they will be part of the in crowd if they hurry.
Okay, so why did I show you that adorable clip? Because you and we're going to start a movement, folks. We're going to get away from as many toxic products as possible. Now, I know what you're going to say. Sam, this sounds like Amway. This sounds like this. Let me ask you a question. Do you know how much money you would save? And how much money you would take away from the globalists if you stopped just buying your hair care, your body soap, your detergent, and swapped to non-toxic, and you were part of an online, well, like Costco, online shopping. You didn't have to drive to the store. You didn't have to put yourself in danger. If you removed $20 a week from toxic chemicals that are going to come back and cost you thousands in medical bills, you just take $20 a week or $20 a month from the globalist and put it into an American company buying the same exact products you're already buying. Why is that a bad thing? Like, I have people like get so negative about it, but I've been purchasing, my hair's stopped falling out. My skin is doing so much better since I started using their night cream on it. And I buy the non-toxic deodorant because I don't want to clog up my pores the way I sweat, right? Putting aluminum under my arm right beside my breast. I mean, like, hello, do you want breast cancer? I mean, I swapped 4 products. I order it, reorder it about every 6 to 7 weeks. And I save money because I'm not in the store picking up things I don't need. And I took that money out of the billionaire's hands. I mean, that's just me. But let's talk about one more thing. Let's talk about the health industry. If you still are not convinced that all these waves and stuff around you are not, you're just like, that's BS. It's not affecting the chickens. It's not affecting you. It's not, what is this? Anybody know what this is? Tick tock, tick tock. Huh. Let me show you what this is. This is a next wave. It's a next wave, folks. It is a stimulation that shoots electrical currents into the body to help my husband with chronic pain because he's got something called neurofibromatosis, which is one of the 2 diseases the elephant man had. That's why if you ever see his elbows, he's got these big knots. Well, those are tumors. He's got them wrapped around the spinal cord, inoperable. He doesn't want to live on pain medicine, but they hurt, right? It's not comfortable to have tumors in your spinal column, in your spinal cord, right? So sometimes he has to put that on, and it helps relax the muscles. So what if the frequency was tuned to, say, do the opposite? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Stop telling me this stuff isn't real. Stop telling me it's okay to roll out 10G government. Stop telling us that, because here at Starkey Farmstead, this platform, this group of people, we're drawing the line in the sand. Okay? Drawing the line in the sand. One more thing. Please stop giving your children the red dye. Don't give them purple or blue either. Stop. Put your babies on water. I don't care if you drink Coke all day. You do you, but don't destroy your children's bodies. Those dyes, guys, I try to keep telling y'all this. I have right at 20 years experience working with disabled children, children who English is a second language, early childhood development, and cannot stress enough to you. The foods you're feeding your babies are what is causing these behavior problems, these autism issues, spectrum, all that. Okay? That's new diseases. They didn't have that 30 years ago. Second thing, all the frequencies playing off the heavy metals in the foods, the toxins in the foods that your babies are eating, okay? Just think about it. All I'm asking is for you to sit down and ask yourself, I know that electromagnetic affects human bodies, right? I know that electricity, I know that sound waves, I know that frequencies are all around me, and I'm part of that. So if somebody who was not a good person got a hold to those frequencies and beamed them at me like this, look at this, what would it do to me? This is a new heating. It's infrared heat. Save money, because you know very soon they're going to be putting smart devices in your house and not letting you cool or warm your house with open air circulation, right? Because that uses too much energy. You are destroying the planet, even though we know Harp heats up the ionosphere. But it's you. It has to be you, because it can't be them, right? They can't be wrong. They cannot be wrong. It has to be the little people. It has to be the worker bee. You're wrong. They can't be wrong, right? Because they're backed by big money. Big money says that this is the right thing to do. So they're going to beam you with infrared lasers to warm you. I mean, anybody see that going wrong? Anybody seeing AI just get irritated because you didn't say thank you when they opened the door for you? And her be sitting there, and I say her, and, you know, just play with me here, guys. I know it's not real. And the AI, she'd be like, girl thinks she got jokes being rude to me. And she just starts dialing up that infrared heat beam. You go, somebody's head pops. Ta-da! I mean, can you guys see that? Somebody's internal organs being cooked. That's where we're going. That is the world they want to put you in. But let me give you a message of hope. Let me give you a message of freedom. There's a man that I know who loves you. He created you from the dust of the earth, folks. Your DNA comes from him, and his name is Jesus. All he wants to do is get to know you. He just wants to love you. I'm not worried about changing you. It's not my job. Not worried about correcting you. That's not my job either. My job as an ambassador of Jesus Christ of Nazareth is just introduce you to him. The Bible tells me that he died on the cross. He was buried in a tomb, and 3 days later he rose and ascended and sits at the right hand of the Father. You can be forgiven for your sins, because we all sin and we all fall short of the glory of God. The difference is you might be a good person heading to hell, or you could be a good person heading to heaven. I love you, folks. We got one more tiny thing to introduce you to, and I'm going to get busy. All right, beautiful people. Some people, including my son, did not understand what this was and immediately was like, oh my gosh, that's evil. This disrupts, folks. The purpose of this, it is full of different types of copper. Copper beads, copper shavings, copper wire. It's also got stones and other types of metals to disrupt. It is the shape that bothers you. And it shouldn't, because triangles can very easily disrupt low frequency. There's also this one. Look at the copper beads in there and the copper on top, copper on bottom. So what you do is you set this as close to your Wi-Fi as possible, right? Or underneath your microwave, and it just disrupts the microwave frequencies, okay? Now, I want to talk to you about something I found that truly bothered me. They are now taking bacteria and turning it into a self-replicating, self-growing energy, right? So they're going to take this little bacteria and they're going to connect it with solar panels to absorb sunlight, or better yet, not even need the solar panels, just a big vat of this bacteria out in the sun to generate energy. Why does that bother me? One, it's self-replicating. So who controls that? And two, you've mutated this bacteria, which is a living one-cell organism, into doing something it wasn't originally intended to do, to harness its energy. Doesn't that sound eerily like this video? Watch this.
Before I read your story on organoids. Yeah, I know. This is bizarre and terrifying.
Yeah, it's really disturbing. And it's been around for a little while, but it's really starting to kick into gear. As you said, AI consumes a ton of electricity, a lot of energy. Environmentalists have always hated nuclear power for pretty perverse reasons, I think. And so they're so afraid of using nuclear power that what's in vogue now is turning to us to be the batteries. Just take those stem cells out of embryos or out of the lab, sometimes even out of tumors, turn them into brain cells, basically, and use those as batteries to power what they're calling bioprocessors. They say it'll use about 1 million times less power than a typical digital processor, and that's a good thing, they say. You can access them remotely. And this is the new hype. It's from the same folks who brought you the idea of going to carbon zero, net zero carbon use. They look at human beings as a waste of space, a waste of energy, and they want to harness that to run AI that's supposed to be smarter than anyone can understand.
So on Final Spark's website, this is the company that's doing this, they link to a Daily Mail article that says organoids are tiny, self-organized, three-dimensional tissue cultures made from stem cells. Stanford's website says stem cells come from two sources, embryonic stem cells, and then...
The fine print on that abortion is you're giving up the rights to the fetal cells. They're going to take embryo stem cells, all right? If you know what that is, I need you to do a little research for yourself. And they're going to make humanized computers off your dead babies. Will that AI have any consciousness? Because the Bible tells us that the baby has a soul before it's even set into your womb. Are you fixing to give up your babies to an eternity of torture inside of a computer? Even if there's just 1% chance that that cell may morph into an actual human with human cognites, or animals. Think of animals being trapped in that. All to harness the energy from your body. Because stem cells are creators, right? They're just always recreating new organs, new this, new that. Folks, this is wicked. Wicked like, please, Jesus, come back soon. But until he does, folks, we were ordered to occupy. It is time we stop saying these topics are uncomfortable. I don't want to talk about this. Abortion's a woman's right. They lied to you. They lied to you. We got it wrong. We need to fix it, because what they're doing with aborted fetal cells across science, from skincare products to vaccines to medications and now to running AI to generate energy is wicked. God bless you guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with somebody today because the information here could save somebody's life. I just received this comment on my video last night. Stop telling us this is safe video, right? She's from Maui. Autistic child reacted violently prior to the fires, right? Now, I told you guys there was a mist that came down the mountain. They had the mapping lasers about 3 months prior to, and then the mist down the mountain August 7th, and then the day of the fires, right? Well, what is a DEW? What is it? Weaponized frequencies. So a sensitive child, an animal, birds, they would all react very differently to those frequencies being turned up very quickly, folks. This is not conspiracy. This is fact. Now, why our government's hiding it from us? But I do want to tell you this. Another reason they're sending the frequencies out at night while you're sleeping is to create something called a heat dome. So a heat dome means that the temperature at night is not dropping down cool enough. It's not cooling off. So you've got extreme heat in the day, okay? Then you have extreme heat at night. What happens if the temperatures don't cool down? What stops happening? I'm not sure how to word it to you guys to get you to understand what I want you to think of it yourself. You walk outside your house in the mornings, your pants legs get wet, your socks get wet, your shoes get wet. It's called a dew point. For dew to form, temperatures must drop a good bit from what it was during the day so that moisture forms, okay? Dew is another way to save plants and to grow food. In fact, the book I'm writing talks to you about God's perfect plan for growing food and the ways that he will water your garden for you versus people who can't put water on their food because the government won't let you. They're destroying the dew point. That dew has a lot of positive for your plants, including kicking off photosynthesis, including creating the proper bacteria and providing moisture to your plants. There's a reason they do everything, and it is to destroy what God has done. Love you guys. Please consider supporting Starkey Farmstead because this is what we got demonetized for. And though I've tried twice, they won't do it. So row in our boat, folks.